Hello everyone, my name is Rosanna Bidoro, Rai for short. And you're on to Read Time with Rai. So this week we will be looking at courtship, what to do while courting, what it's about and all. So if you're joining me, please say something so I know you're here, and please share. Thank you. All right, so just give me a minute. I was trying to get something started. So please, if you can hear me, I really can't hear myself. I don't know why, but if you can hear me, please let me know that you can. All right, I think I can now. Okay, Grace McDuck, thank you. PMax, thank you for joining me. All right, so we're going straight to the topic, what to do while cutting. But first and foremost, because I have realized from talking to people, counseling people, that people don't really know what the stage of cutting is. If you've been following me long enough, you should know that there are different stages in relationship. And when I say cutting, I mean the time frame from when you decided that this person you are in a relationship with, hello Migda, thank you for joining me. This person you decided that you are in a relationship with, you're going to marry that person. Okay, thank you, Grace. Okay, you're going to marry that person, and you get your parents involved. Now listen, you may decide that you're going to get married to this person from the beginning, from even when you first saw the person. Oh, the person, matches all your dreams, all your aspirations and all. But courting, for me, is when you decided in your mind that you've dated for a while or you've started for a while. Now I'm not going to give any time frame before you get to this decision, because it differs with people. So from when you decided that I'm going to get married to this person, and involve parents, both of you have involved parents or people that are responsible for you. In fact, for me, it's parents. You can now, as a plus, maybe if you're the type who has spiritual parents or wild pastors or whatever, but involving your parents, that is where your courtship starts, and it ends the day you propose. Then you move into another phase, which is called the engagement phase, or fiancé, fiance, or intended phase, where of course now the planning for the wedding and the marriage itself, begins to take place. So what I'm talking about is a time frame from where you've decided you want to be with this person, you've been with this person, but you want to marry this person, and your parents are involved. Now, whether your parents agree or not, it's not does not define the courtship period. You have told them, they are aware, they have seen this person, they know of this person. That is when courtship has started, and it ends the day you propose. Now, what's the difference between dating and courtship? The difference between dating is that you guys have been together, you're doing all the things that dating people do. You go out, you hang out, you get to know each other and all that. You're just still looking. It may lead to marriage. You have not taken that decision yet. You're still dating. You're still hiding her from your parents. She's still hiding you from parents. That is dating. That is boyfriend, girlfriend, in simpler terms. Yes, it is not courtship. When it is courtship, family are involved. They know that something is happening to these people. It may lead to marriage. That's why when you come and tell them, they don't get surprised now, because they had known that you were seeing somebody. And the reason why this is important that you let family know, like it's in different cultures. I'm African, so parents have to give consent. Their consent to what you're doing. It's so that tomorrow, after all the sacrifices, after everything, you don't come and say, my mommy did not agree. My father did not agree. My family people, they say there's something wrong with your family. No, that's why before you are even proposing in the first place, so that you say people are the ones that cause unnecessary heartbreak for people. Before you start proposing to anybody, let your parents be aware. Let them know that this person is involved in your life. If there's something they don't like, They probably will say it, and you can correct their impression on time. Not after you have proposed, then you're not taking home, then you're not fighting battles, you're not saying they did not agree, they agreed, and all those things. It's not necessary. Or it's giving it's uncalled for. So please, courtship involve your parent. Now, I was doing some research and I found out that courtship culture affects courtship, no matter how you look at it. I'm so sorry, please. Most people say they are westernized now. They don't need anybody's consent. I love you, you love me, let's go on. It's not true. Every culture. I learned in Australia, in fact, the father pays for the first dinner date, and then when it has, to show that he approves. If he doesn't approve, he doesn't pay. And it starts from 19. Some culture to age matters. So you see, you it's not something you just wake up and say, because marriage is in itself is a very dynamic thing. It's something that two different individuals are coming. Your families have to accept. It's just very few people that they not tell you on the phone and all that. If you are African and you're listening to me, it's not our culture. You may watch it and like it, but it is not our culture. There is that's in Australia. In Chinese, in fact, you cannot even be seen with the girl. It's the family. They just bring you people to see each other. It's like a glimpse. Have a glimpse of me, I have a glimpse of you till the wedding day. The families do everything. They check everything they want to check, and then they tell you this is your husband, this is your wife. I'm not approving anything or disapproving anything. I'm just letting you know that from time, parents have been involved with people dating or wanting to get with people courting or wanting to get married. Even in the old-fashioned America, you cannot be seen alone with someone you're courting unless you have done formal proposal and it has been known. You must walk around with a chaperone if you're a boy going to see the lady, and you're only allowed to bring flowers, paintings, and send flowers, paintings, or love letters. And the girl does not have a right to give the gifts first. It's the guys that give gifts first. Some cultures is the girls that do the asking out, like in UK, because the guys are usually very shy. They are only able to ask out under alcohol. So it has been, from time, culture has always affected the way people court. So you have to know why am I bringing culture in? Because you have to know where is this person from? What do they do in their place? How do they do in their place? Because you may see it as an insult, or you may see that the person is not behaving well, or you may see the girl that she's cheap. But in Australia, it's normal. It's her culture for her to ask a guy she likes out. So there's nothing cheap about it. But in Africa, the boy will be like, hey, she's what asked me out, hey, and all those type of things. So you have to know where is this person from and how it affects or how the person views or sees courtship. Now, this brings me to, what do you do now when you're courting? I outlined them, I numbered them. First and foremost, there are some tests you have to do. You have to do your genotype testing. Don't leave this, I like now, this is not, I've treated godly courtship before. So in that godly courtship, I told you people that, of course, I believe strongly. I'm a strong believer. So I believe that God can change genes and all. But this is in general terms. Please, to avoid issues, go and do testing. Know whether you're a carrier of the sick, whether you're a sickler or you are not, your AS, your SS, or your AA. Go and find out. Also, of course, your blood group, that is, people are aware and know about that. But apart from your blood group, you have to know your Rayhos factor, because that can affect you. The woman, when she wants to give birth and she starts giving birth to having hemolytic disease of the newborn and all that. To avoid all those issues, you need to check. This courtship, of course, before you won't start checking these things if you're not ready to get married. That's why I said it's only in doing courtship that you should start doing these things. Though now, because some people miss this step, like I said, dopamine, so people don't go through the step or the stages of relationship. They don't bam, bam, bam. I've seen you, I like you, bam. Before you know what is happening, 2 months, 1 month, bah, they're married and all. So churches try to, to say, okay, if you want to marry, have you done this? If you haven't done it, they make it mandatory before they wed you to do some tests and all. But I'm just listing the tests that you should do. Yes, apart from your blood group and your Rayhos factor. And the blood group is important because in emergencies and the rest, you could be the next person. It could be on the speed dial on the person's phone. The person should have it in the person's head. Oh, this is the blood group of the person, and it could save a life. Then, of course, HIV tests and STDs, I can't overemphasize. You need to do those testing, especially if both parties are not virgin. And even if they are, because there are other ways one can get HIV. Is not just through sexual contact. Then there's fertility index. Now, this is very, very crucial because most people don't do it, and especially men, they don't like doing it. Because this fertility index, the man, you're going to be checked. Please, as we're going back, Sandra, thank you for joining me. And who else has joined me? Bedrock, thank you. I see you. Please, as we're going, Gift, I see you. Thank you for joining me. Eva, thank you for joining me. Please, you could share, and of course, if you need to get to me or get in touch with me and all, it will be in the comment section. So please endeavor to do that. Or if you have questions, you could drop them as I engage in the conversation. I will look at them and get to you before the close of this broadcast. Yes, so they have to do semen analysis. It's not everybody that has a healthy sperm. It may not be because the person has been promiscuous or anything. It may just be nature. So you should check. And even for the lady, not everybody, you may be menstruating, you may not be ovulating. Not everybody ovulates or ovulates at the right time or proper. There are certain, you just go for fertility index check, both parties, and know what you're up against. Know if, of course, if you're faith-based, know what you're praying about. If it's the type that, okay, you can't, please, MS your SS or stuff, or, you have low sperm count, I don't want to go through this journey with you. It's better, everybody knows what's going on before proposing come and she says no, and you don't know that is the reason why she's saying no. Then, for me, the three most important here is this genotype, the fertility index, and genetic screening. You must go for genetic screening because there are some diseases that are passed to children. It could be AIDS, it could be whatever is wrong with the person. You may not even know. It's this genetic screening, you may find out. And you should go know about it and know how, you'll be advised properly on how to go about it. Then another one, which is also important in the list of importance for me, this one is like fourth, is mental health assessment. People don't like, oh, I'm not crazy, why should I do that? Especially guys, I'm not crazy, why should I do that? But my dear, you may be bipolar, you may have issues, you may go into mood swings, you may go into depressions. It's not normal. It's not a healthy living lifestyle, and it's not normal. So you should go and check your mental health. You should visit a psychiatrist. In fact, there are some counselors that can assess that now they may not be psychiatrists, quote unquote, but they have, gone to the school and they are certified to do that. Yes, you need to check, you just throw tantrums unnecessarily and all those things, or you get into swings, just go and check your mental health, because this is the reason why you see spousal killing. I don't think those people are normal. Yeah, so or you see where somebody is pouring his spouse acid or water. It's not a normal thing. There's something wrong upstairs, and it will be better that you go and do mental health assessment to know whether you are indeed going to be walking the eye with a crazy person. You see, it's not everybody that is crazy that is roaming the street naked. There are crazy people sitting in offices. There are crazy people wearing suits. There are crazy people wearing lovely dinner gowns. There are crazy people on heels. There are crazy people that are doing different things. They don't know they are crazy, or they need help. They need some drugs to get, most of this mental health or the way people reason or behave is affected by their environment or by their, the way they grew up, their background. So it's very important. Yeah, so the next thing you will be looking at after you've done this test is how compatible. Actually, I think this compatibility should have come before this drug test. But anyway, the next thing, there's no really other preference. But the next thing is your compatibility. Now, I must warn a lot of people, because 80% of people, both parties, now I'm not saying it's only girls or guys, both parties go through or have this issue. Someone can be good, someone can be exceptionally nice, someone can be perfect as an individual. I know there's no perfect individual, but I'm just taking the person up there so you get my point. Someone can be doing so well. If you have a list, I always encourage a list. You have a list 1 to 10, you've ticked 8, you've ticked 9. The person is doing so well in terms individually on the person's, keeping the person apart. The person is okay, the person is doing good. But when you guys are together, there is a problem. It means you guys are not compatible. I know what you should be asking is, I know you're good, I know you're kind, I know you're honest, I know maybe you're faithful, I know you're, all the attributes, all the good attributes. But when you come to me, when we are together, when we combine together, because of course when you marry, you're going to be combined together, you're going to be a force, you're going to be people that will be working together, having the same vision and all. I've explained that for those who have been listening to me for a long time. Yes, hello brother Amos, thank you for joining me. So you may be good on your own, but you're not good with me. That means you're not doing anything to help me. You're not being nice to me. Or even if you are nice, but it's not to the degree that I want. How does the person fit you? How does the person suit you? You know, the problem with is that most people that are in this courtship stage, it happens to almost everybody. Once you're in this courtship stage, you don't see anymore. You sort of like become blind. So you're not looking for things, you're not searching for things, because especially if you're the girl, you're sitting at the edge of your seat, you're expectant. The next thing you want is for them to propose. So you're not seeing things. Yes, he's good, he's an honest person, he's a kind person, he does business well. You know, he has money, he knows how to go about it. He's a great entrepreneur. Oh, he's a lovely person. If you're a church person, oh, he sings great, or he preaches great, or he does this. But when it comes to you as a person, how would you rate him? Or how will you rate her? You know, when you're with this person, how do you feel? When you with this person, does it bring out the best of you or brings out the worst of you? You know, somebody can be good on the person's side. I don't know how to overemphasize this. Somebody can be good as an individual. Does not mean it's good with you. Or does not mean the person will be good to you. Or does not mean both of you will be compatible. You see, and that's the thing. At this stage, like I always say, talk, and talk, but people aren't talking. People are instead scheming, planning, you know, pretending just to get the ring. And after the marriage, it becomes a problem. Yes, the next is family acceptance. My dear, this is the time you are, especially for the lady. Now I have to, I don't want to say segregate, but I have to differentiate. Because in a culture where I come from, the man does the marrying. Yes. So for you as a lady, you although both families have to accept, but you have to be very, very sure that the person you're about getting married to accepts you. The family accepts you, not just about him. Yes, he has passed all your tests or your everything. What about his family, especially his mom? What's her opinion about you? And all that, you know, are you accepted, or is just okay, they love their son, and maybe especially I've seen situations where the family is not so well to do and the son is the breadwinner, so anything he says just goes, or they're afraid of him. That the type, you know, that some parents are afraid of their children, so they're afraid of him, they don't want him to be angry and all, so they really don't like you, but okay, and all that. I would not say, oh, quit the relationship because okay, they don't like you, but my dear, that is you're working on glass. It's dicey. Anything can happen. The table can turn. So you have to be careful. If it's possible, you have to find a way for them to love you, find a way for them to accept you. You have to just find a way. You know, you have to keep going there and all. And this brings me to culture. There are some cultures where, you know, if people who follow me on my WhatsApp status, I made a statement. That was when I was preparing for this, and I thought of it. Are you supposed to pretend as a girl? Maybe in your house you have house helps. You know, you don't clean, you don't do anything, you don't even cook, or you don't even like to cook, you know, and you have not gone to your would-be husband's house, you know, and maybe you're expected to do things, you're expected to cook, or you're expected to wash, or you're expected to do some things. What then do you do? Do you pretend, or do you just tell them, I don't do this in my house, so I'm not comfortable doing this? What do you do? That's why I said this is the time to study culture. What is expected? It's not a function of what you do or what you don't do. You see, there are some sacrifices. This is where sacrifices come. There are some sacrifices you have to make. There are some sacrifices you have to make. And, you know, ensure that you have a smooth sail. I'm not saying pretend, but your sacrifice, the person you shouldn't pretend to is the man. You should let the man know, see, this cooking I'm doing or this cleaning I'm doing. Don't be thinking this is what I'm going to do in the house. I don't like it, or it's not my person. Okay, I'm just doing it now because I see that your mother has asked me, and out of courtesy, out of respect, I cannot say no. It's better he knows what's up, that you're doing this. It's not really eye service. Someone can say it's eye service, but it's not. You're being respectful. It's just like if you say, oh, please go and give me, you've come to the house, and maybe after you stayed a while, you've acclimatized with them and all, get me water in the fridge. You start saying you won't go. I feel it's disrespectful, especially as Africans. We're Africans, and there are certain things that are expected. So that's why I say learn the culture. Some, when you see your mother-in-law for the first time, you can't just stand and greet her. You can't call her by name. You have to kneel down and all stuff, or vice versa. So just learn the culture. Ask him, and you know that this era where people grow outside their culture, he should know, so that you don't get embarrassed. Like I know a story where a lady, it's not like the girl, his sisters wear trousers, okay, but according to tradition, when you're coming to the family for the first time, they're introducing you, you don't wear trousers to the place. It's usually tight jeans or very short clothes. You dress properly. You dress like you're going to church. Although now some people even dress crazy to church anyway. But like you dress like where you're going, you know, you need to be looked at respectfully. Yes, you dress properly. But she didn't know that he didn't know also. So she dressed normal. She thought, okay, it's a normal. And she has seen the sisters before. She has video called with them. She has seen them on crop tops. She has seen them on spaghetti. She has seen them on jeans. So what the big deal? Why can't I wear jeans to the house? But you see, this is not. You're not coming as the sister's friend. You're coming in as someone who is going to be married. You know. So there's your first impression actually counts. So that was, you know, that was the beginning of this lady's problem actually, because the mother just saw her as someone who does not have respect, or who is not well brought up. So the question now started: what's your background? What do you do? In fact, the girl was actually confused why all the questions centered around her upbringing and her background. Is because the way she dressed. The mother was like, if they trained you properly, you should know that if you're coming to people's houses for the first time, and especially a house where, you know, you're going to be married into, you shouldn't be dressed like that. So culture matters. Please, please, please check culture. And then, of course, faith matters. I've seen people who, you know, intermarried video on face. Okay, somebody's Buddhist, somebody's Christian, somebody's this and that. But you have to be on the same page. And you have to understand that when children start coming, what will they be? Are they going to be Christian like me? Or are they going to be Hindu like you? Or are they going to be Muslim like you? Are they going to be Buddhist like this? You have to you guys have to state it. That's why I said that you cannot overtalk in courtship. It's a time, talk. You have to cover all ground. You have to cover all grounds. You have to cover all grounds. Or not. I'm sorry, please. You have to cover all grounds. Yeah. Another. Sorry for that. Slight interruption. You have to cover all grounds. Another thing that you must do is finances. People avoid this a lot. No, I don't want the lady to know how much I'm earning. She's just going to be demanding anyhow. And the girl will be like, for what now? Why doesn't want to know how much I'm earning? Please, my money is for myself and for my family. My dear, it is better you guys discuss it. Even if you guys don't want you want to go for non-disclosure, it's okay. You see, like I said, there's no hard and fast rule. It's what works for you. So if you don't want to disclose, both parties don't want to disclose, it's all right. Yeah, so we're not disclosing what we earn, but what are you going to be doing in the house as a guy? You know, there are certain things I expect you to do. The lady, you should be able to tell him. And you as a guy, as a lady, okay, the guy can say, okay, you're not a housewife or something, or do you want to be a housewife? If you want to be a housewife, okay, I will place you on salary because I know you need your makeup, you need to change your panties, you need to change your this, so okay, monthly, I'll give you this. Or, okay, you would, you know, since you earn, you would, you know, take care of something. It could be utility bills, it could stuff. Look, you guys need to discuss it. Don't just leave it to chance and all. What would you be doing with your money? What would I be doing? And then, okay, if we're having a joint purse, all right. So I don't see, it's a joint purse, I'm contributing to this thing. So you shouldn't make all the decisions yourself. So we need to talk on, okay, what are we using money for and all. So what works for you? But the bottom line is you must discuss finances. You can't leave it out. You must discuss finances. What would you be doing in the house? And all that. If you're the type who wants to disclose, okay, this is how much I earn, and please try not to lie, because that is the beginning of problem. If later on she finds out that, oh, you know, you lied to her, or he or she, because sometimes it's even women that lie more about this finance thing, or you, the woman, they find out that, you know, you lied about the money. It's a problem. It's a very big problem. Another thing you should be discussing when you're cutting is where you're going to live. Location is important. You may be living in one geographical region, the person may be living in another place. So when we get married, what is going to happen? Are we going to stay in the same place? Who is moving? Who is resigning? Who is looking or seeking for a transfer? Who is doing what as regards this marriage? Because it's not all the time where you find someone, you know, in the same location with you. Someone can be somewhere else. And of course, you're compatible and everything clicks. So you have to know, you know, where are you going to live and all. Another thing you should be discussing while cutting is how many kids. Don't assume. Yes, I know it's God that gives kids and people come and sometimes, you know, people I have said I'm done, and of course they get pregnant and all that. You have to discuss how many kids. If God gives more, or if it was circumstances under control that we have more or less, it's okay. You want children, state it. You don't want children, state it. The number of children you want, state it. This is the time for you guys to agree. So the guy won't just be proposing and be assuming in his head he wants 5 children. After, he's not the one pushing. So you can't assume you want 5 children. You have to tell her you want 5 children, and she has to agree. That's why it's, you guys have to come together. If she agrees that the 5 children, then it's okay. And she says she wants to and all that, she gives reasons and all that. So you guys will have to, do back and forth. That's why I said it's talk, 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 back and forth, and finally, you disagree to agree, finally come to a compromise. Now I'm going to be, if you have questions, this is a place where you should be bringing your questions. And there are some books that it will be put in the comment section now that I think you should read if you're in this courtship stage or have passed this courtship stage to, like, where you have been proposed to. You should read before you get into marriage. Yes, it's going to be put in the comment section, about 9 of them. I think you should find them, you should buy them. It's not free. Yes, nothing good comes easy. Look for them online and buy. Yes. Then another thing, yes, and of course it has been put on the comment section too, where I talked about courtship, my way, your way, and God's way. Now, this for those who are believers and want, complete package on godly courting and stuff. Of course, I've done a broadcast before, and please watch the replay. It's on your comment section. Now, lastly, and this is very, very important, is now I'm talking general now. This is not godly courtship, but even at that, I won't advise that you be sleeping with each other up and down and all that. But you need to talk. There are some people, sex has caused has caused big problem in marriages. Okay, like I always say, it infidelity, sex, and money is the tree destroyer of marriage for me. Yeah, so you have to discuss with your partner and know if you have a high, because you see, some are fortunate, their libidos are the same, they balance up. Now, when I mean libido, is like the urge or the desire for sex. Yes. While others, it's not. It's one is so low, one is so high. One can be okay once a month having sex. One can even be okay once in 3 months having sex, while the other party is not. So, in order to avoid issue or that would lead to cheating or that would lead to deep-seated resentment and stuff, I think at this stage. Now, this is not, I'm not saying, please don't misquote me. I'm not saying now go and experiment, go and begin to sleep with each other. You are not a microphone. Don't let them test the microphone with you. But what I'm saying is you should discuss, of course, for the person wanting to marry you, are you people going to be doing praise and worship only in the marriage? Of course, sex is involved in the marriage. So it's not a thing of shame or something. You need to tell the person that, especially for those, because I have counseled people and people are like, I've kept myself for so long. I'm either a virgin or I just had it once and that was by mistake and all, and I've really been chased. So I can't wait to explore in marriage. If you're that type, better say it. Let him or her know that you have been keeping yourself since because you want to enjoy yourself when you get married. So it's not a question of once a month something. It's not like something like a timetable. So you have to let the person know that I would want sex often, and of course the other party being sensitive should be able to ask, okay, so how often and all. This is very important because you cannot run away from this issue when you get married. It will come up if you're the type who will not be meeting up to expectations and all. So please, if you're courting, this is in a nutshell, I just narrow it down because it's better you pick some than I say so many. There are of course so many other things for you to discuss, but this is what I've seen that is very important. Of course, there are also other things you will be discussing when maybe I would do that as a separate topic. I don't know when, if I get a request on it or something, what you should be discussing now after the finance and how you can plan for the marriage instead of the wedding. Maybe I would do that, maybe subsequent or following this, I don't know. But this is based on courtship now, and please learn the culture, like I said. So a recap: be compatible. He may be good to others or good on his own, does not mean he's good to you or she's good to you. Be compatible. Faith, don't compromise it. What do you believe in and all? Go for your test. Know what courting is based on, the person's culture. Know what is expected of you when you go to the person's house. There are some cultures where you have to kneel to greet, some cultures where you have to do the cleaning, the what if you're the lady. Some culture like in Japan, the guy is given chores to do in the house. He has to follow them to the farm. How much bamboo he cuts and all shows his strength. So you are, and if you are loving a Japanese girl, you have to be ready to climb, so much mountains and go and do that to prove yourself. So there are things that are expected. Good evening, Prince. Thanks for joining me. I'm actually rounding up. Please, if you have your questions, I just have 5 minutes left. So if you have your questions, you could bring it up at this point. Yes, so please, the books have been put on, and of course, the topic godly courtship that's related to what I've been saying now has been put on the comment section. Please do take out time to read. The videos are not so long, most of the time within 30 minutes or below, so you could just watch it at your free time. So the test again, like I recap, is your genotype, your blood group, rare host, HIV, fertility index, very important for me, your genetic disease, and mental health. So people don't go and kill yourselves, in the house. Don't go and kill yourself in the house. So if you have questions, I'm open to them now so I can answer them and round up. So courtship is a time to talk. It's not a time of sex. It's not a time of shopping. It's not a time for, And again, you have to understand again that this is a time where you learn. I've also treated that love language. During this courtship is a time for both of you to learn. I'm just giving you guys time so you can, put in your questions if you want. If they are more personal, then of course, all my social media platforms are on the comment section. You can reach me. Yeah, so you have to know the person's love language. How do you relate? Is it by gifts that you know the person loves you? Be by words, you need to hear "I love you" so many times. This is the time for you to learn, because for you to want to start learning it when you are married, it's going to cause friction in the home. So know the person's love language. Is it when you do some chores in the house for me that I that the person understands that, oh, okay, this is my love language? Is it when you do public display, write all the wonderful things in the world about me on Facebook, or hold my hands when we are walking? Is that how your partner understands love? The love language, that is the time you would know what the person like. There's some people who don't like that, don't write all those things, keep my private life private. You now and try to see how you can work around it. Yes, and this is a time where you get to understand yourself. This is a time where people react or behave, or you now start seeing how the person gets angry, how the person reacts to this anger. These are the times where you see so many things. So it's not also a time where you just have a small problem, you quit. It's a time where, because you've gotten to this junction where you can work it out, where you can see. It's only if you've tried, being compatible, try to work out your differences and it's not working, then there's no need proposing, and again, you should see the handwriting on the wall. There's what they call courtship behavior. Maybe I don't know if I should do that, say that now. Well, there's something they call courtship behavior, because you see, most guys who propose and end up the girl saying no, you didn't look well, you didn't watch well. There's courtship behavior. There's a behavior that the lady will put, and you will know that she's going to accept your proposal. There's what is expected. I don't think, if I start I won't finish, so I won't take that, maybe some other time. Yeah, so you need to study. It's like a book. Yes, you need to study this person, because after all, you're spending the greater part of your life with this person. So it's worth studying, it's worth knowing, so you don't end up being miserable. There are some people who can handle it, who don't mind. they channel their energy to somewhere else. But there are some people who it gets to them, depression sets in, or you see divorce, or the killing, like I said, and that one has to do with, if it's not working and you can't manage, you leave. Why do you have to kill somebody else? Can you create a human being? Yeah, so generally speaking, talk and talk, and ensure you do all this while you're cutting. Learn the person's love language, do little gestures, and the person complains or how the person reacts to it. This is where you have to be sensitive. And sometimes, I know I've said talk and talk, but sometimes it's not everything you may remember to say, or it's not everything the person may say. So you need to watch. I'm of the school of thought, or I believe in this school of thought, that action speaks louder than words. So the person will be giving you subtle signals. Yes, that's a word. Subtle signals, by the way the person behaves. So you should be able to learn and know. And I must say this, especially ladies and guys too. Actually, I know guys do the proposal, but it's not only love. In this, love may have sustained you guys to this courtship place. Yes, I'm rounding up now. Love may have sustained you to this courtship place, but trust me, it's not only love that will make you pass the stage. There are a lot of things involved. Like I said, mother's acceptance, family acceptance, all those the tests that have to be done, the sacrifices, and are you good for me, not just on your own. There are certain things. So it's not just about love. Yes, I love you, but we're not compatible. I don't want to marry you and be sad, Yes, so there are so many things you should check. And then please don't do sympathy. Don't out of sympathy or because before you got to this stage, it took you guys 10 years, or it took you guys 5 years, or it took you guys 4 years, or it took you guys 3 years. And so automatically, because you have been doing public display, and that's why I say be careful with public display of affection. Because you have been doing public display in all social media platforms, everything. So people now naturally, these people have been dating for long, for 3 or 4 years, they naturally now expect you guys to get married. And you've seen some signs, you've seen some things that you'll be miserable in the marriage, but because people expect it, out of sympathy, or you don't know how to break someone's heart. I'm not advocating for breaking of heart, but it's better that that person's heart is broken than for you to continually daily kill the person in the marriage. It's better you just tell the person, please, I can't marry you. Do not sympathy. And ladies and guys have to be careful. Now people marry for selfish reasons, so you have to be watchful and careful. People may marry you, or a man may marry you as a woman, saying that okay, you're going to enhance him, you're going to push him, you're going to help him in his vision, and so it may not necessarily be love. A woman can just be with you, okay, because she likes the family name, she likes the fact that you have money, she likes one or two things about you, or she sees that okay, in the public display or something, you guys fit together. Oh, you're tall, you're cute, you're fine, and so please just know why you guys are spending the rest of your life together. Because all those things are frivolities. With time, the person will not be able to keep up with the pretense, or with time it will become open, because of course you're now married to the person, you'll be waking up by the side of the person and be seeing the person every day. So it's certain things now become obvious. So to avoid all these problems, look well, check well, pray well. That's my advice. And talk. And I must say this as regards parents. I was expecting someone to ask me that question, but nobody has done that. I must say this as regards parents. It's not all the time your parents are wrong. It's not all the time your parents are old-fashioned. If they see something and they tell you a no, pray about it, check it, ask them their reason. Half of the time they're right. Okay, so it's not just because they want to be wicked. Half of the time they are right. So let's be we are in a generation of people that don't listen. Let's try to listen, especially when it comes to marriage. We should listen, because it's not sometimes what it seems on the outside. There's a lot. I always say the dynamic of marriage. Somebody has actually done that request topic, but I've not really put myself together to do that topic. I will one day. Yeah, so I'm always saying the dynamic of marriage. So please don't take it for granted. It's apart from your salvation, it's your second most important decision you're going to be making in life, actually. But you can also choose to be single. It's better than to stress somebody's son or daughter, actually. Yeah, so if you have your personal questions, like I said, you send it inbox. Thank you all who were able to join. Okay, Nkechi, okay, questions are now coming. All right, I was about rounding up, but okay. Can I ask, is it wrong to go visit my boyfriend in his apartment? Nkechi, it's not wrong for you to visit your boyfriend. In the olden days, okay, you want to begin courting now. Okay, so you're entering the stage of courting. Yeah. In the olden days, it's you usually there would be a chaperone and all. But I think now with the way the world is and all, you can visit. Why not? You can visit. You don't even. I know some churches say you have to take someone, and actually it's because they want to help the lady, and all that, or they emphasize on what you wear when going there and all that. But I think all those things, you could even wear a maxi cloth and a maxi gown, and the guy will already strip you naked in his eyes. The truth of the matter is, you can't visit. But have you guys discussed? I have treated this topic before, that's why I didn't say it, but let me say it now again. Have you guys discussed whether you want sex before marriage or after marriage? Now, I'm this cutting in general terms. Maybe you should click on the one I've done based on godly cutting. I don't subscribe to premarital sex, but I'm saying, if you don't, maybe for example, don't prescribe to myself, what is his orientation? What does he think about it? If it's the type that you're the type that you guys don't want, sex and all, and he also have sex, so you could visit. But you see, sleeping over is another thing, because are you going to be, what do you wear? Men are attracted by what they see. Are you going to be on your nightgown? Are you going to be on your, how high is his libido? There's some that you can be on your nightgown, it doesn't affect them, but how high is his libido? These are things we have to realistically say. I know people, when they say, oh, I went to visit, people just wave it in hand, but there's a lot of things that happen. That's spending the night there, or if you're not even spending the night, you're spending some hours there, and these are emotions are involved. You're in love with this person, obviously, for you two guys to want to start cutting. So there are so many things to eat. You can visit, of course, but I don't advise sleeping and I don't advise staying too long, personally. But you can visit, why not? But I think it also depends on both of you. It depends on both of you. You guys need to talk about, what needs to happen in the relationship and what will not happen in the relationship. It's your call and his call. Both of you need to talk about it. You need to talk about it. Yes, I know some churches ban it outrightly, and that's because a lot of things happen. Let's be realistic. That's where sex and stuff happens. And if he's the type that beats, that's where maybe you may make a slight mistake. He start beating you. If he didn't go there, would they beat you? At least it will be really rare, unless the person is really crazy. Like I said, needs mental health assessment that will start beating you on the road and all. So most people just say just avoid these things. But if I wouldn't say completely, because for the guy, he should visit you too. He needs to know how your house is. He needs to know whether you're dirty or clean. You too, you need to know whether it's dirty or clean. There's some things you need to know. So that's why I said you need to outline it. Hey, I'm coming to your house, or maybe I'm coming to cook, or I'm coming for us to watch a movie. But and again, be mindful of the kind of movie you watch, because even if you guys have talked that you don't want to do anything and you're watching porn, there's no way, you are human. Or you're watching a movie that has so much sexual content in it, sexual explicit content in it, it can lead to that. So it's you guys talking it and him knowing why you're coming and you know why he's visiting. So I won't say a total no. Yes, no. You can visit, but of course don't stay long. Ensure that you guard yourself, that nothing happen. And of course, watch what you wear. Don't go with all your cleavage open and all and with a crop top and expect that he's blind. He's not blind, he can see. Yeah. So that's my answer to that. So any more question, or it's only from Nkechi, because I'm rounding up. Nkechi, hope I answered your question. If I get a response from Nkechi now, I would log off. I'm done. Paul, thank you for joining me. I'm logging off. I think you have to watch the replay. I think you have to watch the replay. All right. I guess I answered Nkechi's question. So thank you all for joining me, and see you next week on Read Time We Try. I hope you learned something. Bye.